Our next presenter and our next member on the panel here is from a very different part of the world with a very different experience. Mohammed Sadar Rahman is the founder of Bantai Industries in Bangladesh. And Bantai is a manufacturer of sport hats and caps, exports all of them to the United States. Sadar began his career working for Oxfam and the International Red Cross in the social welfare world, and he built this business, Bantai, that provides very extensive social welfare programs for the employees. So he's found a way to balance the issue of competitiveness in the workplace with social responsibility, and I think you'll agree it's a very...
I'd like to thank CIES and particularly the chairman of the organizing committee of this summit, Mr. Jacques-Etienne Serclaus of PricewaterhouseCoopers, for inviting me to speak at this summit. I remember in mid-January, Jacques-Etienne sent me the first mail asking if I can come and make the presentation. I was very excited and encouraged. I thought it would be a great opportunity for me to share what I'm trying to do in a small country like Bangladesh. A week later, Rhoda Lenokeli, she called me over telephone and she walked me through the summit. It was very interesting and very useful for me. But the problem started when she gave me the list of the speakers, when I saw personalities like Mr. Douglas Daft, the chairman of CEO of Coca-Cola, chairman of CEO of Walmart, CNN. I was really nervous. I mean it. Because I don't belong to this class of people, honestly speaking. I come from one of the poorest countries of the world. Our company is a very small one. The programs that we are doing are very simple. The amount of money that we are spending for the worker is very low. So I was wondering what I'm going to share. I thought I'll be totally misfit among these global players. Again, Rhoda, she came to my rescue. I remember exactly what she said. The size of the company is not very important, nor the personality of the CEO. What is important is the impact of the program that the companies are doing for the workers. Thank you very much, Rhoda. That was very, very encouraging and reassuring for me. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to share the structure of my presentation for next 20 minutes. Very briefly, I will introduce my country and the socio-economic condition in which we are operating. And then I will introduce in a minute or two my company. After that, with you, I will go through the programs that we are trying to implement for our employees. And finally, I would like to share with you the great impact these programs are making on all the key players, particularly on the employees, impact of this program on the profitability of my company, and finally, impact of this program on me as a social entrepreneur. Let me introduce my country. Bangladesh is in the Indian subcontinent, and I'm sure you know all of you, like me, are worried, concerned about the threat of nuclear war between India and Pakistan. But fortunately, we have excellent relationship with both these countries when we're not involved in the conflict. Bangladesh is surrounded by India almost in the west, in the north, but we have Great China and Nepal in the north, and Myanmar in the southeast. Ours is a very, very small country. The size of the country is smaller than the size of the state of Georgia. But we have a huge population, 140 million people. If you force 50% of the total population of the United States into Georgia, the density of population will be much thinner than that of Bangladesh. We have an agrarian economy, and it's a very poor country. The per capita income is less than $300, where you in America has more than $19,000. The doctor-patient ratio is very disproportionate. Rate of literacy is very low. The main income for this poor country is the export of ready-made garments. In fact, 76% of the total export comes from, total earning, foreign exchange earning comes from export of ready-made apparels like shirts and jeans and jackets. This sector of industry is not important only for the economy, but for the social development in Bangladesh, because it has created employment for 1.6 million women. Let me introduce my company, which is Ban Thai. It's a joint venture industry. Ban comes from Bangladesh and Thai from Taiwan. It's a joint venture between Bangladesh and Taiwan. And we produce only one item. And as Peter said, that is baseball caps. Different types of caps and hats. And for the last 10 years or so, we have exported more than 70 million pieces of caps to this country. We employ very small number of people, 400 plus, of which 93%, 92% are women. We run a series of programs for our workers, starting from protection against fire. We look after the health and family planning needs of the workers. Very high emphasis is given in our company on the children of our workers, because I think they are the future of this poor country. So we have a creche. We take care of the education of the children, also education of the workers. We run a small shop, not a supermarket, just for the workers, selling basic commodities. We try to encourage the workers to save money. Also, we have a very interesting social awareness program. I would like to start with a news item published in one of the most powerful newspapers in the world, the New York Times. Last year, one full page and part of the front page, cover page, was dedicated to Bangladesh and all on fire accidents. There was a very tragic accident. 52 workers, which included 49 girls, were killed in one accident in a towel manufacturing industry. Basically, in Red Cross and Oxfam, I was a disaster manager. So we have designed a very indigenous method of fire safety. The most important thing in protecting people against fire is warning and evacuation. The whole factory is fitted with manual bells and gong bells. If any girl detects a spark, electric spark, or a little bit of smoke, she will start ringing the bell close to her. Then all other girls who sit close to the bells, they will start ringing the bells. So within a second or two, everybody in the factory knows that there is an emergency. Then the girls who sit close to the electric main switches, they will put it off. And all the girls will get out of the factory through their designated exits. And the whole process takes not more than 20 seconds. We practice at least once in a month, and it works very well. The impact of this fire safety program is that, I know in disaster situation, what is important is the confidence. Our girls, they have no education, but they are confident to face the challenge. The health project, it is very simple. I'm not going to explain in details. We have contracted a hospital. They take care of the health needs. The doctor would visit the factory, and when the doctor is not in the factory, our social welfare officer will take patients to the hospital, where the patients will be given not only secondary and tertiary treatment, but also specialized services. Bangladesh is a Muslim majority. 90% of the population are Muslim. The girls, 100% of 1.6 million girls have moved out of the village, and they're young girls. The average age of the girls working in the garment factories is 19, very young. For the first time, they have come out from the control of the conservative families. They are living on their own in the cities. They are working with the young men. So quite natural, they need some support in the field of family planning, in the field of, control, birth control. God forbid, if someone gets into problem, if someone conceives, it's a major problem. She can't discuss this problem with her parents. Impossible. Nor with her brothers or sisters. Not even with her friends with whom she lives. I know a number of cases where the girls commit suicide. So we have started a family planning program where basic awareness is given, basic inputs like condoms, pills, and injections are provided free of charge. And if somebody needs minor clinical services, that is provided within the factory premises. If it is major services required, they are transferred to the base clinic of a non-government organization whom we have retained for these services. this is my most favorite program, most important for the mothers. You know, the children born to the workers of garment factories in Bangladesh are very, very unfortunate. They miss two most important things of their life. Most important things. Number one, they don't get mother's milk. Mothers can't breastfeed them. Number two, they lose the touch, they miss the touch, physical touch of the mothers. Because the poor workers live almost in slum condition. There is nobody to take care of the babies when they come to work. So these unfortunate workers have no other alternative but to leave the babies back in the rural areas with their in-laws. It's the real torture on the mothers and the children. So we run a very simple creche with nearly 25 children. And we have two trained, excuse me, we have two trained nannies. They take care throughout the day, and the mothers are free to come and breastfeed them anytime they like. As I said that from my background in Red Cross and Oxfam, I would like to put high emphasis on the children of our country. So we run an education center. Normally, you know, in rural families, when children attain the age of 8 or 9, these poor parents have no other option but to send them to work as servants in well-off families. We insist, and it's a must for our workers, that they must send children to the school, either to the public school or to our school. And once they send the children to our school, the parents can see remarkable change in the behavior of these children compared to the children in the slum areas. So it's just like putting the train on the rail. If the children stay with us for 3-4 years, inshallah they continue. This is a very simple education center. We have 2 shifts. The morning shift is 7:30 to 12:30. This is for the children of our workers. And the afternoon shift is for the street kids of the area in which we are running the factory, because we have some responsibility for the community. I'm not going to explain in details about this shop. It's very simple. What I've seen that the poor workers, they spend 50% of their money on just buying basic foods, rice and pulse. So we thought, why can't we start our own shop? That is what we are doing. And we buy it from the wholesale market, sell it to the workers at the same rate, and the workers are getting good quality at a cheaper price. This is again a very interesting program that we have. Bangladesh has a male-dominated society. Whatever money is earned by a woman is literally taken away by the male member of the family. It's mostly the husband. I'm sure in America you can think of that, or in Europe. But physically, every month I know the wage date is 7th. On 7th in the afternoon, a lot of people would come, take the money and go to the village. Literally, they snatch away the money. And if these girls are in problem sometime for money, they have no other option but to borrow money from money lenders in the slum areas, and they operate their business at a very high rate of interest. Sometimes it's more than 10% a month. And these people are not interested to get the principal amount back. They want the interest every month. So what we have done, we have encouraged our workers to tell lies. They don't reveal their actual wage to the family. On the wage day, they save at least 20 to 25% of their earnings in a number of saving schemes that we have. And the most popular one is putting money in a deposit pension scheme of the government of Bangladesh in Nationalized Bank. And again, ladies and gentlemen, it was not very easy for us to open account for these poor girls in Nationalized Bank or private banks. Personally, I went to many different banks around the factory. No bank would agree, would accept. Everybody said, oh no, these girls, if they come to the bank, our other clients will feel very bad and I will lose my business. I'm sorry. But I didn't want to give it up, and on my second or third visit to a bank, fortunately I found the manager, newly recruited manager, was a student of mine. I started my life as a teacher. And in Indian subcontinent, still today, the students have a lot of respect for the teachers. So this student could not disoblige the teacher. He told me very frankly, he said, sir, against the recommendation of all my colleagues in the bank, I agree, but on one condition. I said, what was that? He said, please don't ask the girls to come to the bank. I said, okay, something is better than nothing. I agreed, and we started operating, started transacting through our welfare officer. She would collect money from the girls, bring it to the bank, deposit in individual names, bring back the receipts and give it to the girls. But I tell you, today, the situation is totally changed. Our girls are most respected clients of the bank because, number one, they are only putting in the money. And bank is making a lot of profit. They're not taking out. And if some girl borrows some money, not a single of our workers have become defaulter in the bank. And they are not shabbily dressed. They are very well behaved. And I tell you, they are very well respected. Now the positive impact of this saving scheme is great. Once the women in Bangladesh have control over money, you can see from their eyes. The husbands respect them. The families consult them in decision-making processes. Entertainment is very simple. As I told you, that they live in slum condition, and hardly there is any scope for any entertainment. So we run throughout the whole day. The music is going on in the factory. We have, magic shows. We have lotteries. We have picnics. You name it. The last program that we run is social awareness. Women in Bangladesh are exploited very much. They're socially exploited, they're economically exploited, they're politically exploited, they're religiously exploited. So we try to develop their social awareness. Number one, in Bangladesh, the parents would settle marriage at a very young age of the girls, 12 years, 13, 14 years. But our girls won't marry before the age of 18, which is the legal lower limit of age for marriage as per the law of the land. The men folk would desert the wife after she has a baby or two. Women can't do anything because they don't know the law. But our girls would insist that the marriage has to be registered and the deed of registration has to be shown, has to be presented to Bantai, otherwise I will lose the job. And believe you me, when a girl of that stature speaks like that to the family of the boy, they think, oh my God, she is from a different stock, and they think twice before touching her. Payment of dowry is a curse in the rural community in Bangladesh. The parents of the girl have to pay a lot of money to the family of the boy, and they borrow money to pay dowry. Our girls would never pay any dowry. So through a number of program, we try to empower them so that they can challenge the exploitative society, exploitative factors that keep them suppressed. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to share with you what tremendous impact these programs are making on the workers, on the company, and on the entrepreneurs. Naturally, workers in better health, their children are well taken care of. They don't have to worry about their children, their health and education. We take the children for excursions to zoo here and there. Compared to other girls working in other factories, they have reasonable amount of money. They have invested in buying cow or buying a piece of land, and they can challenge the exploitative forces. And the environment in which they work, they really enjoy. What is important, that although they are poor, but they are confident. They're not worried about you, about anybody, about any, about police or any expatriate. They can speak to you as one-to-one. So it's sort of human resource developed. It's sort of empowerment of the workers. The impact of all these programs on the company is even greater. Migration of workers from one factory to another is a big problem in the garment manufacturing industries in Bangladesh. Our girls won't leave. This is total loyalty and sense of 100% ownership to the company. I can cite you hundreds of examples where people work as if it is their own company. It's their family company. Never had we any unrest, any agitation. And as you know, a happy workforce, they produce more. And our rate of rejection, you won't believe, the international standard is 1.5%. Our rate of rejection is 0.1%. Our quality is better, so naturally, the profit of the company is much higher. In fact, if you consider it purely from the economic point of view, the amount of money that I'm investing, the economic return is much higher. Now, what is the impact on me? I think I got a great opportunity to serve the people in distress, to serve the people in need. As a human being, I have my social responsibility. I have my moral responsibility. As a Muslim, Allah has asked me to take care of the poor, and I am trying to meeting those obligations. And if you see people around you, if I see the poor workers around me are smiling, are prospering, I think I get immense satisfaction in my life. So ladies and gentlemen, what I tried to explain, it's not working now? Oh, right. What I tried to explain that it is win, win, and win situation. Win for the workers, win for the companies making more money, and win for me, a full satisfaction of my life. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your patient hearing.